Everybody. Um, Hope y'all all had a good Easter. I did. Ready for the rain to stop. Okay, so now we are on section 2, viruses and prions. Okay, so we did section 1, which was bacteria, and I made that a separate test. So viruses and prions are going to be a separate test also. So let's get started. All right, those are the questions we're going to answer as we go through it. What are the characteristics of life? Those are in your book. We're going to go over them in a minute, but I think this is actually the numbers are wrong. I think there's one more here. I think there's 7. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, there's 8. All right, so you're going to need to write those, but we're going to go through them. All right, a virus does not have all of the characteristics of life. So a virus has no metabolism. They do not grow. They do not respond to stimuli, and they cannot reproduce independently. They have to have a living host to reproduce. Okay, so can a virus be considered living? If it doesn't have all of these characteristics, it's not considered living. Okay, because when you know the characteristics, which we're going to have tests on those, so you're going to need to know those, they cannot be considered living. Not a test, sorry. Questions. Even though viruses are not living organisms, they are of interest to biologists because they cause many diseases of living organisms and they are useful tools for genetic research. I feel like this is our life right now. Viruses are definitely important, and biologists definitely need to know about these things because they are harmful. So, even though they're not living, we need to really pay attention to them. Okay. So viruses, bacteria, viroids, and prions all cause infection. Okay, you've all had a bacterial infection, probably ear infection. You've all had viral infections, flu, something cold, or something like that. These are the sizes. So you'll see that eukaryotic cells are way bigger. They're 10,000 to 100,000 nanometers, and a prokaryote cell is 200 to 10,000 nanometers, so way smaller. Viruses are 50 to 200 nanometers, tiny. Viroids are 200 to 150. Prions are 2 to 10 nanometers, so super tiny. Any disease causing agent is called a pathogen. So a virus can be a pathogen. A bacteria, a specific one, can be a pathogen. Anything that causes a disease is a pathogen. All right, so scientists began studying viruses in the late 1800s after it was found that a factor smaller than bacteria could cause disease. That was the virus. At that time, scientists did not have the technology to see viruses. Our microscopes couldn't get that small. So this is when they started to look at it at the late 1800s when they had a microscope small enough. This right here is a picture of Jonas Salk. You can see his name, polio fighter Salk. He's the one that came up with the polio vaccine, Jonas Salk. He's pretty famous. In 1892, Dmitry Ivanovsky found that there was an infectious agent in tobacco plants which was smaller than a bacterium. That means bacteria. Bacterium is 1. In 1892, Martinus Bijernek proposed that the small particles within the extracts cause infection and named them viruses from the Latin word for poison. All you Latin people, there you go. All right. So a virus is made of DNA or RNA and a protein coat. They are non-living pathogens, so they cause disease, but they're not living, and they can infect a variety of organisms. Viruses have a very basic structure, and you'll see these little things that stick out of them. That's even what Corona has. All these little virus things that sticks out of them. A single viral particle is known as a viron, and you remember that's like 2 to 10 nanometers, very small. Okay, a virus is composed of. This is going to be important here. I can see this on a quiz or question. A virus is composed of genetic material. RNA or DNA. You can see it right here. RNA or DNA. A capsid, which is a protein shell. Okay, here's the nucleode capsid right here. And then maybe a lipid envelope, which is a protective outer coat. So it's basically like wearing like This would be like your t-shirt, this would be like a sweatshirt, and then this would be like a jacket. Okay? So it's a lipid envelope, which is a protective outer coat. All right, so viruses differ in shape and in ways of entering host cells. Remember, they can't reproduce unless they're in a living host cell. So the viral structure could be enveloped, helical, or polyhedral. So this is enveloped, which is influenza is the flu. Okay, and this is enveloped. Enveloped means like covered, like an envelope. Okay, and you can see the nucleic acids, DNA or RNA is in here. You've got your capsid here, and then you do have a lipid envelope right here. Okay, and these are surface proteins. You got helical, which is spiral. Okay, again, this has a lipid envelope. It has nucleic acids. It has your capsid and your surface proteins. This is an example of rabies. And then you have your polyhedral, which is like this. It's kind of like a rounded pyramid. And this is foot and mouth disease. This is a pretty common disease for kids to get. All right, viruses can replicate in multiple ways in a host cell. Remember, they can't live in a, they have to reproduce in a host cell that's living. So a lysogenic infection does no immediate harm, okay? So the viral DNA is called a prophage when it combines with the host DNA, okay? You can see here that here you've got it kind of combines here, and then it combines with the DNA. And although the prophage is not active, it replicates with the host DNA. So you can see here, and now they've got two, and then it creates. So lysogenic means that just because you get that virus in you, it doesn't mean it affects you right then. Okay? So this has a long, maybe, incubation period. A lytic infection causes the host cell to burst. Lytic. So when a cell bursts, it's called lysis. So the host bacterium breaks apart, or lysis. Bacteriophages are able to infect new host cells. So here you've got a host cell, and this is a bacteria. I mean a virus, this right here, and this is the bacteria. This looks like that one toy off of Toy Story, Sid's Toys, where he takes them off and it has like a face on top. I think it does. Okay, and this is right here, the virus right here, and then this is the bacteria, and you can see that the viral DNA forms a circle, and then the viral DNA directs the host cell to produce new viral parts, and the new parts assemble bacteriophages, and so these are the viruses right here. Okay, so a lytic infection causes the host cell to burst. All right, go take your quiz now.